Yo, what's going on, guys? It's G Miners here, and in this video we have the first of many builds that we're going to be going over this season, where we're going to be starting things off with the Strand Warlock, aka the Broodweaver. Personally, I thought Warlock looked the strongest, so I wanted to start with this build in Lightfall, but I will have both Hunter and Titan builds out tonight, or very early tomorrow as well, so make sure to check those out too. This build is going to heavily specialize in creating threadlings, which are these little green creatures which track to nearby enemies and deal damage, almost like our own mini screebs. With the build, we're going to have something like 6 to 7 unique ways to spawn these in, some sources spawning up to 5 of these at once, and you can combine multiple of them to have like 16 of these things out at a single time. I am also going to be pairing this with a suite of the brand new mods that came with Lightfall. These fall under the new armor charge system, and they're going to make the build way more useful with things like grenade uptime and grenade energy back, along with increasing the amount of charges that we can store at once. And also keep in mind that the artifact works differently this season too, so some of the artifact unlocks that I chose are also going to be feeding into the build. We are going to be covering everything, so as always, if you guys do enjoy this video and you want to see more like them, make sure to drop a like and a sub down below, and also check me out over on Twitch if you guys want to watch me live. Okay, so starting things off, let's take a look at our Strand subclass layout first. Honestly, there isn't going to be much to choose from right off the rip. Our super is only going to be Needle Storm. This just sends out a fleet of needles dealing direct impact damage to enemies, and also spawns in threadlings, which deal additional damage after these needles hit. I personally chose Healing Rifts. We only have the Arcane Needle melee as of right now, which is going to unravel enemies that we hit. And then I'm also running the Threadling Grenade, which spawns in even more threadlings. For our first aspect, we have Weaver's Call. With this, very simply, whenever we cast our Rift, 3 threadlings will now spawn in and instantly start attacking enemies. With this, we also have Mindspun Invocation, which is going to buff the Warlock's main grenade types. Since we are using Threadling Grenades with the build, this will now allow the Threadling Grenade to be consumed, and rather than spawn in 3 Threadlings at the location we throw the grenade, this now spawns in 5 Threadlings that are perched to us. I will be going over the difference between perched Threadlings and regular Threadlings in a bit. Lastly, for the subclass layout, we do have 4 fragments, which were limited to only 6 total options. First up, we're going to be running Thread of Finality. With this on, any finisher final blow that we get will also now spawn in a Threadling. Thread of Warding is also going to be great for harder content. This will give us Woven Mail whenever we grab an Orb of Power, which grants 10 seconds of damage resistance. Thread of Ascent is going to reload our equipped weapon whenever we use our grenade ability, which will also be giving us increased weapon handling and airborne effectiveness. And then lastly, we do have on Thread of Fury. Now, anytime we damage an enemy with a Tangle, we get melee energy back. If you guys are looking at everything that I currently have and you realize you're missing something that I went over in the subclass, don't worry. All you need to do is head over to the Hall of Heroes on Neptune. And then from here, when you guys spawn in, or if you don't have the spawn point location unlocked yet and you walk to this location, everything I have can be purchased from the Strand meditation area. And all you need to do are spend Strand meditations, which are earned by playing with Strand and as activity rewards. When it comes to mods for the build, I'm going to be going over everything in order from my helmet down to my class item. First up, we have Kinetic Siphon and Arc Siphon. These are going to create orbs of power, which are essential for builds now, whenever we end up getting rapid double kills with arc or kinetic weapons. I like running this with Forbearance and Osteostriga, which are arc and kinetic weapons respectively, but if you do want, these can easily be changed to fit your favorite weapons. To keep our grenades up at almost all times, on our arms, we are running 2 copies of Grenade Kickstart. These provide a percentage of grenade energy back whenever we throw our grenade or just consume it. This is going to consume all of the armor charges we have for increased energy per charge, and also increased energy with more copies of the mod. Firepower is also used here so that our grenade kills generate orbs of power. I believe this works when throwing the Threadling Grenade, but it definitely doesn't work when charging it. On my chest, I have some resistance mods along with Charged Up so that I can gain 1 additional stack of armor charge. At base, you're going to have 3 stacks. At max, this will be 6. So with just 1 of these mods on, I'm getting up to 4 stacks in total. On my boots, I am running 2 copies of Innervation. These very simply reduce my grenade cooldown whenever I grab an Orb of Power. And then we also have stacks on stacks. This doubles the amount of orbs I get when grabbing an Orb of Power. So now every orb I pick up is going to grant 2 armor charges instead of 1 at base. Lastly, on my class item, I do have Triple Bomber. I don't know the rework values for this mod yet, but this was super simple to throw onto the build, and I haven't messed with most of the other finisher mods yet. Lastly, I do have on the Swarmer exotic leg armor. With this, destroying Tangles is going to now create a threadling, and then threadlings are also going to now unravel enemies, which in turn makes more Tangles. So this easily allows me to continue chaining, making more threadlings, and then making more Tangles, even when I'm out of abilities. Overall, with the build, by using our melee or by attacking enemies with threadlings, as I just went over, enemies are going to become unraveled. Killing an unraveled target will then drop a Tangle, which has a 10-second cooldown for creation. These can then be shot or even picked up and thrown at enemies to create more threadlings, and then my Rift and Grenade also combine to create threadlings too. Using your weapons and your base grenade should both create orbs of power for you to grab, and then when using your grenade again with armor charge stacks, you should get most of it straight back. We also get grenade energy on orb pickup and by placing our rift down, and can even create threadlings with our super and by finishing enemies. When it comes to threadlings, these are either going to directly attack enemies or become perched. Really, the only difference is that when threadlings are perched, you're basically just storing them up on your person so they can attack whenever ready, which just prevents them from being wasted, which I think is great. However, the only thing I don't really like about the current system is you then need to shoot at an enemy to have these start attacking again, which in some ways defeats the purpose of having things you can summon to attack enemies on their own. I have also been combining this with the perk Hatchling, which creates threadlings on precision final blows with strand weapons, and to make this even better, the artifact mod Allied Unraveling gives me unraveling rounds, which are similar to nanites that swarm enemies and deal additional damage. This build has a metric ton of synergy. I definitely don't think it's one of the best subclasses that we've ever seen, but it honestly might be one of the most fun by creating an entire threadling army. I also think things will definitely feel better with some extra mods that we unlock later, and once we are much more familiar with the current mod system. Let me know your thoughts on the build in the comments below, and also let me know what you're liking or even wish was different within Lightfall. Once again, I do stream a bunch over on my Twitch. I will be live for the day 1 raid race, and also make sure to sub if you want to catch more build videos. Anyways, that's all for this video. As always, have a good one, guys. Peace.